No flash photography during the press conference, please. All right, first up tonight are the Virginia Cavaliers. They're represented by head coach Joanne Boyle, student athletes Dominic Tucson and Jakira Brown. Coach, if you would, please make an opening statement.
I just thought it was a great game. I'm so incredibly proud of this team and just their fight, and just so much credit to Dawn and her team. They have an unbelievable team with a lot of unbelievable players, and obviously Asia can carry her own. And I'm just incredibly proud to have been the coach of this team this year. We just fought and believed in each other, and they really laid a foundation for what can be a part of this program moving forward.
So open it up just for the questions for just student athletes at this point. If you would raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Chris with the first one.
I know it's sort of hard right now, but laying that foundation and getting back to the postseason, what does that mean to you guys now that you can sit here and look back a little bit?
It means a lot. We always want to pave the way for the people coming up behind us. But, of course we wanted it for ourselves, but, it still feels good knowing that we're setting a path for the future generations.
Other questions in the back? TV row.
Jakira, as a senior, what do you see as the future for Virginia women's basketball?
This group of girls that's here now, they're nothing but like hard workers, on and off the court, good people, and I think what Nikki said, just laying this foundation for girls to come. It's just a good atmosphere. Just overall, it's just a great team.
Right here in front.
Nikki, you got it down to 3 points with your three-point play early in the fourth quarter. What were you and the team thinking at that point?
Just, we got this. It was just confidence all the way through. There was no doubt in our minds that we couldn't win that game. So, we were just hyped. Like you could see from the reactions that we knew we were going to win that game. So, yeah, that's it.
Go back to Chris on the left.
For either one of you guys, how tough was it to defend Wilson in the paint, and what was she doing that was made her so effective?
We knew they were going to get the ball into her, so we tried our best to clog the paint. The guards were able to hit outside shots, and then we got into foul trouble early on, so they kind of put us in a different situation. But the way we fought the entire game is just like that's something to stick with me, because that's ingrained in us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the front here.
Jakira, this was very much a road game. What was it like playing in this atmosphere?
We prepared ourselves. We knew that this atmosphere was going to be like this, especially at this time, 9 p.m. But we knew coming in here with the defending national champs, we knew what we had to do, and we knew the crowd that was going to be out here. We just had to come out here and play our games, and I think we did that. There's not much I can really say. Just we fought hard.
Yeah. I feel like that was the loudest crowd we've ever played against. So, yeah, much credit to them. 6 man.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Seeing none, you guys can go back to the locker room.
Show me, guys.
We'll open it up now for questions for Coach Boyle, right here in the front.
Joanne, Wilson took over the game at several different stretches. Have you faced a player of her caliber this year, or even at Virginia?
She's unbelievably talented. She can do it all. She's like a point forward. She brings the ball down the floor. Tonight we didn't have an answer for the step back, little 8-footer. Fee can block shots on the block, but she took her out a little bit, and she hit a couple down there. We tried to crowd her as best we could. I thought we were late to some of that stuff. We got in early foul trouble. Really changed kind of what we were doing. Tried to just mix up as much defense as we could to just keep them off balance. And but she's, if not, she's, to me, she's best player in the country. and we haven't played against everybody, so I'm just talking about the people I played against. But she's a talent.
Stand right, Pete.
Joanne, along those same lines, was this just Fee got into quick foul trouble? Did that just kind of take her out of what she could do and help out with Wilson?
Yeah, both Lauren and Fee. I mean, Lauren got him like boom, 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 and Fee can't. I mean, she can't go for. She can't play a whole quarter, and then Fee got in foul trouble. So we were just trying to scheme, really, trying to play a lot of zone. And I think it was the third quarter, we really had some miscues, and they got a couple offensive rebounds, and just stretched the lead. And I think that's where I become really proud about my team. Like, we did not quit. Like, they just kept coming back, and like you said, we had a couple 3-point plays, but we had too many turnovers at crucial times, for easy runouts and layups. Rebounding really hurt us tonight. Put them on the free throw line. I mean, the things that we've talked about, and we weren't working with our full group there, sitting in that foul trouble all night.
Stay in the front right here.
Your team came into the season with a goal of making the tournament. After a slow start, you made the tournament and won a game here and then played well tonight. What do you think the impact of kind of this will be for the program going forward?
Yeah, I was telling them how, I'm just so proud of them because they did. We came up a little short last year, and they were so determined preseason and summer to reevaluate and reset that goal, and they did. And we really challenged ourselves in the non-conference with a really tough schedule, and we got off to a good start in the ACC. And then, again, another proud moment for me is we had a rough patch down the end when we had the Notre Dames and Louisville's back to back, and we could have just folded at that time. But every time they came out to practice, I just felt like the team kept refocusing on the team goals. No one ever pointed fingers. It was let's reevaluate, let's get back out there, let's get this going. And we found our way through the season and picked up a game in the tournament. And I think that you have to experience this to understand how hard it is to get here, and the feeling of being in it and winning a game, and you never want to go back. You just, now it's about what we do in postseason, what we do in the summer, and how to keep building on this momentum. And just so proud of them for setting a goal and achieving it.
Let's go over to the left, Chris.
Joanna, it looks like you and Dominique were talking about it, about the crowd and the atmosphere. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, Dom said to me, they're crazy. But I think she meant that in a really good way. Just very loud. We played in some environments, over the last, the course of the time, like the Louisvilles, the Mississippi States, the Notre Dames, like they get loud, but there's a different volume down here. And again, that's credit to Dawn and this team and this community that have just done a great job of just building up, such support for her program. But I was calling, they couldn't hear me, and I knew that was going to happen. So we had to kind of limit some of our calls just because, the team couldn't hear us. But what a great environment to play in.
Got TV row in the back.
What can the younger girls on the team, like Dominique and Jocelyn, what can they learn from this senior class?
Yeah, so much. I said it to them in there. Seniors came to Virginia to do exactly what they did this year, and that was, one, to get a great education. I mean, they all came to get a great education, and they came to be part of building a program. And it took a little bit longer than any of us would have liked. But what I said to the underclassmen, what I'm so proud about the seniors is, a lot of times in this generation, if it's not working immediately, people think the grass is greener somewhere else. And this group stayed, and they committed and recommitted and recommitted and recruited to really sell what was possible here. And they stayed the course, and they never quit. And there was great leadership in that senior class. And so I told everybody how proud I was for them, because I think this senior class is so prepared to go into the real world. They have a skill set. They can fight through adversity. They can handle disappointment, and I think it's really important that young people, it's not always, the grass isn't always greener. And it's exciting that they committed to something, stayed through it, and saw it come to completion. And, we talked about I'm so happy that this group's going to be able to come back and be celebrated. The 2017 and 18 team can come back and be celebrated. Like when you come back for alumni weekends, like those memories that you continuously build. So it's more than just wins and losses. It's building a program, leaving a legacy, and letting other people take that and run with it.
Any other questions for Coach? Got one more in the back.
Have you thought about your future at all?
No, I was just worried about trying to beat South Carolina. That's it.
I know that your contract is close. Do you want to be back?
These are just some things that we're going to be talking about in the offseason. We have an unbelievable new AD in Carla Williams, and she's just been really very kind to just let us play out this season, and just no interruptions and no disruptions. And so that our whole focus has just been about this season.
Any other questions for Coach? All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Is open. Go down there.
No.
All right, next up is South Carolina Gamecocks. Representing Gamecocks tonight, head coach Dawn Staley and student athletes Asia Wilson and Tyesha Harris. Coach, if you would, please make an opening statement.
Yes, first I just want to open up and say we apologize for missing the national anthem. It was totally a miscommunication on our staff part. We just thought it was like one of our home games, and got the timing got all screwed up. So charge it to our heads and not our hearts. But I'm happy to be moving on to the Sweet 16. It was a great game. Obviously, I thought our fans were great, considering it was a 9 p.m. start time, and they were loud. They had their pajamas on. They were, giving us the boost of energy that we needed to sustain, playing at a high level and beating a very good Virginia team.
Take questions now for the student athletes. David with the first one.
Asia, Ty, it seemed like the whole team was very determined not to let Friday's result really seep into this one. Was that a big focus coming into this game?
Yeah, definitely. We had to really turn the page from that game and really focus on us and redirect our focus on, our system and how we do things. So I think we really executed that well, and it was a successful turnout.
Eric.
Asia, obviously, your last time at home here. Can you just kind of describe the emotions, a lot of emotion from the crowd back and forth with you, and how hard was it maybe to kind of keep everything in check and just go out there and play basketball?
I don't think it was hard at all. I think the importance of the game really kind of kept me tight and focused. I knew there was kind of survive to advance, and that was the job. And, at the end of the game when I got subbed out, I think that's when it really kind of sinked in that this is not my last time here. This is my last time here in this uniform, playing in front of a great crowd like that. And I appreciate everything from the workers in Colonial Life to the fans to my teammates to my coaches. Just thank you so much. This has been a great 4 years here. This is my home. And hopefully when I return, it's the same energy.
Other questions for the student athletes? Go over here to the right. Pete.
Despite all the energy, Asia, that you guys were showing, still in the fourth quarter, it's a 3-point game at one stretch early on. How did you guys kind of overcome what they were doing and turn things up and get the result that you wanted?
Basketball is a game of runs, so we knew they had a run in them, of course, but at the same time, we had a run in us as well. So we just really kept the positive energy in the huddles and just talked about just staying focused. We can't let the run get past us. That's the game of basketball. So, when you have a great point guard like Ty, she really rallies us all together, and we get the job done.
Greg in front.
Ty, speaking of that, I know you weren't super happy with your performance in round one. I guess what changed tonight and what allowed you to play a little better?
Probably my teammates and coaches instilling confidence into me and just telling me to keep shooting and keep playing. I'm my hardest critic, so that's probably the worst thing that can be happening. But they just keep me going and keep pushing me.
Go back to David in front.
Asia, you had a steal deep in Virginia's into the court and had a one-on-one break. Were you thinking of the dunk right there?
I was thinking about it, but then I number 14 came out of nowhere, so I was like, let me go ahead and finish this because, we still got a couple games to play. So.
I saw you started stuttering.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, yeah. She came real quick.
Ain't it on the left side?
Yeah, you know that. Yeah.
Should've went out with the bang.
But the thought was there. But
should've did it. Actually, I lied. No,
the way my mind was going, I just it's just 2 points. Okay, never mind then.
Lead up to the end.
It's okay.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Bring this back in.
It's late, guys.
Go in the back, Greg.
Asia, I know that had to be a special moment, waving to the crowd. When you think back to the journey 4 years ago, simply making the decision to come to college, you said the other day, it helped bring the state together. Did you ever think just the choice of where you'd go to school would do so much for the Palmetto State?
Oh, man. Never would have thought. Just never would have thought. But just seeing the crowd really come together, especially with the late start and everything, just seeing them all together in their PJs, really rallying around us. They were loud nonstop. Like, we had to refocus because we really couldn't hear things. So just to bring the state together in such a positive way, and especially with women's basketball, it's just great. And just to be a part of it, I'm loving it right now.
Stay in the back, Mike.
Asia, after the game, actually speaking about that, you kind of had the little dance moves going on. We've seen you do that, but after that, you ran over, you saw your parents, embrace them. What was that moment like to be able to celebrate with them?
Oh man, it's super special. They have been with me through thick and thin. Of course, they've took me to places probably where they didn't really want to take me, like the AAU trips when I'm not playing in games. So just to repay them in this way, and just to see them there smiling and just having that feeling that that they had that glow about them, and just to be the reason for that glow, it's so special. And we argue all the time, but at the same time, of course, we love each other. So just to see them in this moment, it was a great feeling.
Any other questions for the student athletes?
Yeah, where's the water go?
All right. You guys can go back to the locker room.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
What you do? Bye, guys. Good
I
night.
sure did.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach Staley at this time. David with the first one.
Don, I know you're no stranger to having teams try to zone you and I can get around Wilson. Was it just a matter of keep pounding the ball in there, and then the foul trouble started happening, and it opened up from there?
Yeah, I actually was a little surprised that they played as much zone as they did and came out in the beginning, because they're pressure defensive team. So yeah, it was just us just waiting. Sometimes you just can't pull away from teams. You have to just wait until maybe the fouls pile up, and then you just find a way to put a string of baskets together to open the game up, and that's what took place in the third quarter. And obviously they came back in the fourth quarter and made some big plays when we weren't able to score.
Go to the back, Will.
Don, I know that one thing that you said you were concerned about was just the late start time. How do you think your team adapted to that and played through that?
Well, I didn't complain publicly. I didn't. It is what it is. I mean, we can't control start times. The only thing that we can control is, how we look at it, how we handle it. And I thought, with just one day to publicly announce we're going to have a pajama party, I thought our fans showed up, and made it, an incredible environment in spite of the late start time.
Go in the back, Mike.
Coach, being able to play as well as you guys did in the second half, being able to pick up the momentum and be able to kind of just put them away, what was the difference, you think, in the second half?
Sometimes it's just timing. It's going to take more than a quarter or sometimes more than 2 quarters to put teams away and just gain some, some separation. Virginia's a very good team. They got some great guards. They got some great, post players, and they're young. They haven't been in this situation before, and the pressure was all on us. So I think they were playing a lot freer than we were. But, we were confident in that. We just, play it for 40 minutes. I think we could have, we got the better of them over that 40-minute period.
Go to Colin in front.
Remember Harrigan had 10 rebounds tonight. Just can you talk about the spark she maybe gave you off the bench? She played a lot in that fourth quarter too.
Yeah, I mean, Kiki, I think part of Kiki's up and down now is probably, the fact that she's got to come off the bench now. I think starting really gives her a boost of confidence. But, I just thought we needed to keep her in the game for a longer stretch in the fourth quarter. And sometimes that is at the expense of having Alexis on the bench. So, I think they have a really good relationship to where, if they're playing well, they're going to get extended minutes. But I thought Kiki was rebounding the ball pretty good. And we just thought we just had to play her. So I'm proud that she got double-digit rebounds because we, again, challenged our post players to get 2 double-doubles at the end of the night.
David.
Dawn, it won't be decided till tomorrow, but it could be Florida State again in the next round. You played them 2 of the last 3 years. Is that kind of like a conference team and that you know what they're going to do, so it might not have to be a detailed scouting report?
No, I mean, when you play them once a year and it's at the NCAA tournament, it's a little bit different because you got the entire season on top of you. Obviously they have some high-frequency plays and, defensive schemes, but it's, they're a different team. We're a different team than what we had last year, so it's And they got to play Buffalo, who's playing well. So we got to figure out who we're going to play. But if we had to play Florida State again, it'll be playing, a totally different team.
And is Cuevas Moore okay? Is she allowed to be on the bench during this tournament?
No, we're just allowing her to concentrate on getting her knee healthy.
Go to the back, Greg.
Coach, I know you said that it's different right now from last year's team. This is the first time this group will go in the NCAA tournament. How do you feel just after 2 games? They handled the challenge and rose to the challenge.
I mean, we feel good. We feel good about just being where we are. We don't talk about what we don't have. We just concentrate on the players that we have that's healthy, that can help us continue to advance. So I'm proud of this team because we got 3 people that hadn't started, in a college game, and they play a lot of minutes, and they got us back to the Sweet 16. So it's kind of a great accomplishment.
Let's go up here to the front left. Chris.
Some of the plays Asia made in the fourth quarter were spectacular. Do you ever just sit back and watch her and, just let her go?
Yeah, I just kind of whispered over to one of our coaches that, how we're going to replace 22 and 12. How we going to do it? She's special. She's special in a lot of ways, and I just want to thank you guys for covering her. All for 4 years. Obviously, she can't be who she is without the storytelling behind what she does, and you guys did a great job at just telling her story. We can go into homes knowing that, our team is covered locally and nationally. So thanks to you guys for allowing that to happen.
Go to Will.
It's probably not something you won't reflect until after the season, but how can you put into perspective just the fact that this team gets to a 5th straight Sweet 16 and just what that says about your program, not just on a national standpoint, but also just as a whole?
Being a part of, I have to go back the first 2 years of being here at South Carolina when I was in my home, watching Selection Monday. Was it Sunday back then? Was it Sunday?
Back and forth, me. I think it was.
It was Monday 10 years ago? Okay, so I was in my home watching Selection Monday, and I'm just like, it's the most boringest, angriest thing that you can ever be a part of. To sit home and, watch other people's names get, appear across the screen, and you're left out. And that is the desire of all coaches to be a part of the biggest tournament in college basketball. And I think it's great that our teams have been able to sustain a certain level of success. And I hope it just continues because, our coaches, they work hard. Our players work hard. And, hopefully the basketball guys continue to favor us.
Any other questions? We got Mike. You got one?
All right, Coach, and they're probably ready to go. You ain't got nowhere to go, right?
No.
Good. I was going to ask is, it's probably more so maybe the fans, maybe the media. I'm not going to speak for these guys necessarily, but to overlook the next opponent. I know you guys don't know who it's going to be yet, but when you have a team like UConn that most likely will be there, how hard is it to maybe try to keep some of the younger girls as focused? I mean, the veterans probably understand it, but just trying to get that message across to them.
Oh, that's easy. They have short memories. They don't think they stay in the moment. They don't go too far ahead. It's very comparable to their lifestyle. They're just, how can I create my happiness in the next minute or two? So we don't have to worry about our team overlooking any opponent, especially the one in the Sweet 16.
Can I change my last name back again? Am I good?
Huh? Did you change your Twitter, Nate?
I didn't change the Twitter necessarily. I'm trying to get verified, Coach. I want to be like you.
Yeah, Twitter, come on and verify him right now. You can verify him now since we got the W. Thank you, though.
Over to Greg.
11,000 last night, Coach. The other night to lead the first round. Another 10,000 for the pajama party tonight. What kind of boost is that going to give when you go to upstate New York now, just knowing that you had this to power on?
I mean, it's a great boost to have at home. I doubt if we have any of that because probably UConn fans have bought up all the tickets. But what our fans have created here is nothing short but, amazing because they come out night in and night out. They come out late starts and they display incredible energy in our gym. And it's reflective of our record over the years because we create a home court advantage. So I'm always gonna give credit where credit is due, especially with our fans and what they've done. I just hope that they continue to support us because they are part of the reason why we've had sustained success.
Any other questions for Coach? If not, we'll let her go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom. Congratulations.